Hey guys, welcome back. So today we are going to be talking about which troops to upgrade in Rival Kingdoms. Which ones are great, which ones absolutely suck and you should just never ever touch them. Now these are just from my personal experiences and they may differ with those of someone else. So feel free to comment below with your own personal strategies and ideas. So, inside your troop barracks, you can see the different types of troops available to you. There are 7 total, but which ones are the best? Which ones should you be upgrading? Let's start with the soldier. These guys are not all that important. I do see some people fighting with them, but for the most part, they're just kind of average, and there's generally a unit that does something better than they do. They have more hit points than a warden, but they do less damage and they can't shoot over walls, so they're not really as useful. I would say don't upgrade soldiers, but that's just my opinion. Next up we have archers. I would say level up archers as high as you can possibly level them. They're one of the most absolutely useful units in the game. They shoot over walls, they do good damage, they don't have a lot of health, but considering the fact that they only take up 1 troop spot per unit, they do a lot of damage, and DPS is pretty important for attacking. 4 out of my 5 squads are generally archers, so I think they're great. Next up, we have the Manhunters. These guys completely ignore walls, just go right over them and attack everything. They are very fast, but their biggest downside is that they do really weak damage. They are not very good DPS wise, and Skywatchers will just absolutely rip them apart. So I would say upgrade your Manhunters as you reach higher levels, but they do not really need to be a priority at the start. They're more like a secondary priority. Next, we have Maulers. Now, Maulers are generally used for breaking through walls. They do a lot of damage and they have a lot of health, but their attack rate is slow and they are very slow. They do have a bonus, however, to wall damage. So if you like them for that purpose, you may want to try upgrading them, but personally I have not upgraded them. Maulers will prioritize defensive towers first, but they tend to not really have quite enough health based on how slow they are to actually tank a lot of defenses, and that's their biggest downside. So I would say no to upgrading Maulers unless they actually fit your strategy. Next up we have Paladins. Now Paladins are one of the most interesting units in the game because they heal units that are around them, and they also do some solid damage. However, they take up 2 troop slots each, so you can only fit 2 of them per 1 slot, or half as many as you could fit archers or warriors or Manhunters. I would say Paladins are a definite yes upgrade though, because they heal your units, and that makes your troops survive longer and enables you to take down stronger defenses and defeat better bases. You're going to need healing at some point when you start going up against better bases. Whether it's through Ancients or Paladins, Paladins are particularly useful, especially when you're deploying troops and you don't have a special yet to heal. Your Paladins will already be healing the other units around them. I always run 1 squad of Paladins with whatever doctrine of troops I'm using. So Paladins, yes, upgrade those. Finally, Raiders. Now, Raiders are the weirdest unit in the game in my opinion because they don't really serve a very useful purpose. They have reasonable health and do reasonable damage, but they prioritize gold production buildings, which is really stupid most of the time and doesn't make any sense. These are really only useful if you are trying to steal gold and want to make sure your units prioritize gold buildings on the outside of the base rather than going for defenses, or just using them as a big distraction. Either way, I see absolutely no reason whatsoever to upgrade the Raiders. No reason whatsoever. The units that you want to prioritize upgrading are the ones that are going to be doing DPS to either the towers or the stronghold, because you need those units to scale with the level of people's bases and how upgraded their defenses are. So you need to upgrade your units in order to match that and keep at that level. The only unit I did not cover here are the Primus Mages because I do not have them yet. So, thanks for watching and I hope you found something useful.